Mega Glimmora has a really cool design, but unfortunately they did not give it good stats to go along with it. It leaves a lot to be desired. And really, there's not much reason to use Mega Glimmora over normal Glimmora, even with Rocky Payload as an ability. So we're going to try to figure out if we can make it work at all today. Looking at my opponent's team, I'm guessing they have... they have a lot of Megas, potentially. But we'll see what they end up being. Now, just looking at my opponent's team, they could have like Volcanion. And if they do lead off with Volcanion, I don't want to get out sped if it's Choice Scarf. I've run into a Choice Scarf Volcanion before on the ladder, and that's really annoying. If they go for Earth Power though, then that's fine. Because I'm just gonna recover up here and see how they want to play it, right? I could have Mirror Coat, and if I went for Mirror Coat here, they would get one shot. So they do make the correct and appropriate switch. Here they might go for like a knockoff if they have it. So I'm going to go into Corviknight, and I'm going to U-turn out. I think that's the better play. They could have Flame Body on Chandelure, but that's alright if they do. But now, looking at their team, they don't really have too much that wants to come in on Poltergeist. So we find out that the Rocky Helmet Garchomp, which is really good. We like to see that. And I'm actually going to go into my own Garchomp here, because I'm a bulky Garchomp as well. And I really don't need bulky Garchomp for too much in this game, unless it's Mega Skarmory. We still have not discovered what their Mega is. But here I can get up my Stealth Rock if I want, or I can just go for Earthquake. I think I'd rather go for Earthquake, just because, as we've seen, I don't really care if the Chestnut comes out. And if they do go Skarmory, then that's fine too. I'm gonna go for my own Stealth Rock. The reason I didn't go for it before is because they could have Rapid Spin on Starmie, they could have Defog on Skarmory. But I like to pressure the Starmie to Rapid Spin if it has it. I'm guessing it's probably Mega Starmie because you don't usually see it ran otherwise. But you really never know. I'm gonna go Cyrilla, Giant Heavy Duty Boots. And now that we know that this isn't Mega, then that we should be a lot better off. And now I can just Poltergeist. I wonder how much speed they have on their Rocky Helmet Garchomp. I don't think that was a good switch. And we know that they're Choice Specs now. Means that I know that I outspeed and I can just click Poltergeist again. This is a bad play if I miss. But if I don't miss, and I should play as if I am not going to miss, then it's a fine play. I'm going to go back into my Garchomp because I don't want to take the Rocky Helmet chip if I don't have to. And as I said previously, this is the only thing I need the Garchomp for. And here... Here I would rather stay and see what they're about. I think that's the better option. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into Magearna. I'm just going to throw off a Volt Switch. It might flip turn, I guess that would be annoying. Now this Magearna is Choice Specs. Is the Rapid Spin, that's okay. And we see that we just one-shot with the Volt Switch because we are Choice Specs. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Glimmora. I think that presents the biggest threat to my opponent. They don't know if I'm Mega Glimmora, although at this point what else would I be? But they obviously don't really care about that either. There's no reason for me not to Mega Evolve, as they do go for that, which is fine. But I was okay with them going Skarmory anyway, because that just lets me get out Ceruledge again. And as we've seen, they really have nothing for it. And I'll just take damage on this guy. Now I'm going to go for Poltergeist in case they Flash Fire Chandelure and decide to be a bit crazy. I don't know, maybe that's not the best play. But if they KO me with Brave Bird, yeah, okay, there we go. That's what I thought. If they'd gone for Brave Bird again and I hadn't KO'd, which I wouldn't have KO'd because we saw that the super effective Bitter Blade only did 50%. But even if they had done that, I could have gone immediately and gone for Power Gem, Rocky Payload with Glimmora. And actually Glimmora sort of cleaned up these two guys. If I had Sludge Wave, I would have beaten the Chestnut too. But Chestnut is such an uncommon Pokemon that you don't really need Sludge Wave. Okay, now this is more along the lines of what I expect at the bottom of the ladder. Just a random assortment of Pokemon that may individually be cool to have on a team, but when you throw them together, they don't really have great synergy. Now that being said, maybe I'll find myself in trouble later down the line, but I don't think this is that big of a problem for this team. So I'm going to lead off with Garchomp here, and we're going to hard switch into Melodic. And we will recover up because we need to stay healthy for the Latios, which appears to be Soldew if I had to guess, because that did a lot of damage. Okay. I'm going to go into Garchomp now, as they go for Taunt, which I'm okay with. If they stay in, that's fine. If they don't, that's also fine. I just want damage on this. I actually get my own Stealth Rock up here, which is sort of nice, I guess, although I could have done that even if I had got the damage off. The Latios. That's to be expected. To drop a Draco again. Once again, we're just going to heal up. I've got to stay healthy for the Latios. And we're going to go Garchomp again. They have Mortal Spin, which is what I expected, but that's fine because they take that chip, right? I'm going to go for Dragon Tail for the one time, just to see if they actually are paying attention, and they're not, really, so that's good. Now, I'm not going to lie, Mega Starmie is actually a major threat for this team. I sort of want to keep Garchomp around because they have the Overquill, they have the Heatran, they have the Zero Aura. I think I need to keep this. I could go Melodic. I think I'm going to go Corviknight. I wonder if the Starmie is still running Thunderbolt. I'm not sure. Okay, we'll go back into Melodic now, actually, because Scald is relatively free into my opponent's team. And I have Marvel Scale, but yeah, let's do Scald. That actually works out really well for me, because they will die to burn. And yeah, I'm actually gonna go Magearna, because this is pretty scary as a Pokemon, and I can just go back to Melodic if they go Heatran. They miss a Magma Storm, which is unfortunate for my opponent. This Melodic is sort of hit or miss. It is sort of passive in a lot of gens. If it gets Scald though, it's fine, and we do have Scald and Haze. We have Ice Beam as well for things like Garchomp, or I suppose Latios, but we've seen in this battle that we don't really need it. Now, Melodic, oh, that was a scary play on my opponent's part. No, because they're having a hard time breaking through this, they may go for Plasma Fists here. But if they go for Play Rough, then that's fine too. Now let's just quickly see. Ceruledge. Shadow Sneak only does 28%. That doesn't seem right. But I think I'm actually going to go for the Sword stance here. So they might just sack the Latios. If they're choice locked, which I'm thinking they might be. Now, if they're not choice locked, then that's a problem. If they go to Runerigus, then that's whatever. And if they go into Overquill, this is a speed tie, which is always fun. And this could be bait if they are Flash Fire Heatran. But they don't appear to be. Okay, so my opponent pivoted out of that pretty well, I would say. Gonna go into this. They are Thunder Wave on their Runerigus. So that's cool. We can just throw off a defog here. They go Heatran. Again, we have the Melodic. The Latios will die on switching. So we're just trying to play patiently as possible. And the Scald really is doing numbers on my opponent. He doesn't really have a good switch into this. I would love to get a burn on this Overquill. Unfortunately, it seems that we can't. I don't think they're gonna go for Crunch. They go for Mortal Spin. That's fine with me. At this point, I can just throw off a Power Gem. And this is actually, I would outspeed normally anyway. Whoa, 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 buddy. They went hard Zeraora. I don't know why they went hard Zeraora. Did they think I was going to go for a Spike? They might have thought I was going to go for a Spike. We were not going for a Spike there. I want that Overquill dead. That's basically like... Okay. What? I will trade this for damage on Heatran. I think that would be the best. Unfortunately, you see there, we don't actually kill. Which is sort of sad. Not gonna lie. But what are you gonna do? Now we go Poltergeist here. Because they have no switch-ins. I'm just gonna Bitter Blade. They show their lefties. And I just want to get rid of them. Now they can't intimidate me anymore. Which is good. At this point, I don't really need the Corviknight, so we're going to sack that. I am still curious to know if they have Thunderbolt. But that's okay either way. They don't appear to have it. And as in the last game, what we're going to do here is we're just going to Volt Switch. Yes. Okay, so this Magearna is saving our bacon against the Starmies of the world. I'm gonna go Melodic. Because obviously that does really well against my opponent's team. They don't really have anything that can take it. If they go Heatran, they'll not really do any damage to me and die. And actually, I'm just going to sack the Corviknight because I don't want to take any more damage if they like crit me or something weird. And now I can just click the Scald button here, and that dies, and the Heatran will die. So Melodic does its job in that battle. Okay. Now this team is interesting because it has probably Mega Delphox if I had to guess. I mean, that's a pretty safe guess, right? I'm gonna just go for the Dragon Tail here, in case they decided to go for the Nasty Plot. I forget if they still give it Levitate. I think it does still get Levitate, right? So that's what we'll go for here. I'm gonna go Melodic. If they Scald burn me, that actually might be for the best. Okay. Now we'll just Haze. And now Recover. Maybe I could go hard into Surledge. Yeah, hard Surledge is better there. Just try to force some progress. Force them out. Okay. Well, no progress was forced. Unfortunately. As they go for Power Gem, very smart play on my opponent's part. I'm going to go into my own Glimmora. That's very risky in case they go for the Earth Power. But if they don't, I will outspeed them because that's like the only thing the Mega Glimmora has over normal Glimmora, which is speed boost. I would love to keep this, but if I'm looking at my opponent's team, it doesn't really do anything else. I don't want to let them set up here, you know? Now, if I'm looking here, I don't feel like my opponent really has too much for Surledge. I really don't want to waste it, though, at this point in time. Because they're just going to go Garchomp, you know? So I'm going to go Surledge here. And then we're going to double out into my own Garchomp. Because I would love to get some damage on this guy. Looks like their SD Scale Shot or Outrage, that works too. Okay, that's fantastic. Now that I've gotten rid of my Garchomp, their Garchomp, I don't care about my Garchomp. It's basically fodder at this point. They can just take this from me. I don't care. Once again, we'll Dragon Tail. Now we go Cereal Edge. Now they don't have rough skin, and they are still taking that 25% chip every time because they lost their Glimm. I'm obviously going to sneak there. I would rather not lose my guy. Now this is the deciding point of the battle, I think. I'm going to sack my... Ooh. Pursuit. Nice. That is a cool tech. I'm gonna U-turn out still. I should underspeed because I am minus nature. And now I can go safely into my Melodic here. And they've shown that they are physical. So that's good for me. I'm gonna go into Corviknight here. We're gonna roost up. Their Aegis Slash is already full health. Their Slowbro is already full health. So we don't care about any of that stuff. And now I get to go into my Melodic. And I get to recover up. And we sort of have to stay in here. But that's fine. Just throw off a Scald in case they go Chestnut here. Could get a burn. They do not. This is unfortunate. I want to throw off a Brave Bird just for the one time. To see if they're going to stay. Is that the right play? Yeah, okay. And that's the reason why. I want to see what they're about. And now, I wonder... Surely we kill, right? Surely I don't miss out on the KO. Like, if they switch, that's fine. Because Poltergeist hits them. I just have to scroll over and check and make sure. And it does. They do have an item. Okay. Gonna go Corviknight here. As they don't pursue that time, which I guess they were expecting me to have and want to go for that like an offensive play there. But I didn't. I'm gonna go hard Cereal Edge here. I'm wondering if they can even touch me, as it looks like they probably can't. As I get all that health back. This time I'm actually gonna go for the Bitter Blade again. That's okay. And now we're gonna go Magearna. Respects Volt Switch. And they don't expect the specs. So that's good. Okay. I don't think Body Pressure two-shot me. What I don't want for them is to bulk up and then get into a point where I'm in trouble. However, it looks like they were pretty slow. So that was okay. That was a tricky game. Despite being really low on the ladder, you know, I'm not necessarily the smartest player anyway. And they had some good plays, some good techs. King Shield, Aegis Slash, like whatever, but the Pursuit was really good. And that helped, would have helped them if they'd got the KO on the Cereal Edge. And the Glimm actually took out their own Glimm, which was really nice because that kept up the Stealth Rock the entire game. Okay, now we're facing off against another Runerigus. Why are we facing off against two Runerigus in the same video? That's not normal. I'm going to lead off with my Garchomp. Okay. Good. I go for Stealth Rock here. I go for Knockoff. That's fine. I'm just gonna throw off a Dragon Tail. I go Keldeo, and I'll take that 100% of the time. I'll go Glimmora here, because we always wall you. And then I'm actually gonna go for the Power Gem. This is Rocky Payload Booster. We're trying to see how much damage this will do. Well, it KOs the Scizor. I doubt that crit mattered. Probably didn't matter. So here's the thing about Glimmora. Normal Glimmora could run a Power Herb, right? And then you get the +1 boost. Okay, here we go. Corviknight. And we try to switch out. I guess I could go also into my Garchomp. I think this is the correct sequence though. Whoa, whoa, whoa there. Alright, we're gonna roost that off. Head Smash Terrakion. Is that new? Wait, is that new? That might need to be investigated by somebody. Hold up. That's heat. Yo, 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 look, it still only did 43% to my Corviknight, and if I'd gone to my Garchomp, they would have taken even more damage because they're rough skin, but that is heat. Okay, we go Glimmora again. I don't really care if they defog, because we still have the Power Gem, and they still don't, like, they have Runerigus. That's the only thing they have here that they can go into. Actually, whoa, okay. Well, they have Terrakion too. This time I'm going to go into Garchomp. I think I want to have them take some chip. Because they went for Earthquake, so they took no chip. And here I'm going to go for Aqua Tail. Because they go Talonflame, that'll do damage to it. Is that the right play? No. Stealth Rock is always the right play. Now, they are apparently leftovers, which is a funny thing to have when you have Head Smash. See, if they'd have been Choice Band Head Smash, then that would be a 2-hit KO on my Corviknight, right? But they're not. Let's see. Terrakion. Terrakion, oh, use Sword Stance, why not? Shadow Sneak does 21 to 26%, so they are out of range of that. Gotta keep you healthy. I guess I'm just gonna Earthquake. Oh, whoa, they went for Sacred Sword. Nice. So now, if they want to go for Head Smash, that's fine, because now they're in range of the Sneakinator. And unless they get off the Stealth Rock off the field, they would die to Hazards, wouldn't they? Maybe not. Actually, they're Rock type and Fighting type. No, they wouldn't have died to Hazard. They could have switched there if they wanted to. They did not want to. That's cool with me. Keldeo is very scary because my Melodic. What do we do here? Do we get off damage? Zero HP. Poltergeist. Oh, well, it has no item. Give it something to hold. The 0 HP would one-shot. Okay, so here's the thing. What's my win condition? I have to keep something around for the Scovillain. I have Glimmora, and it has Power Gem. So that, in theory, checks that. I'm just gonna go for this. Okay. They have no item. I guess it's cute. I was worried, like I said before, about the Keldeo, and which is why I didn't want to weaken my Melodic. The problem is the Keldeo's Spec Secret Sword is super strong, and I don't have any defensive investment. Secret Sword, look at that. That's how much damage it does. And I don't really have anything to hit it back with. If I competitive it there, I would be +3 now. So, don't know about that play. Here they're gonna go for Leaf Storm, right? Or Overheat. They're not gonna go for Stomping Tantrum. And I guess they could go for Substitute, I don't know. They're probably gonna go for Overheat, or they're gonna go for Leaf Storm. Because this Scovillain will have Contrary, and so that's what they all spam. And I can take that. And I have Bitter Blade, which will heal me back somewhat. And they can't resist it, except for with Talonflame. But I don't really know what Talonflame is meant to do to me. I'll get back some health anyway, right? And they missed the Leaf Storm there, which is unfortunate for my opponent. I won't deny that. The Scovillain wasn't really a threat, because Scovillain is not a good Pokemon. And more importantly, I have the Surledge, I have the Glimmora. They can't really touch me. Here, if they're scared, they'll go for Surf, right? And then my Melodic can wall them. If they're not scared, then they'll go for Spec Secret Sword, which would be different. And at this point, I can just go for Scald, right? Okay, so they do have the Secret Sword, but they're not Specs. I feel like I want to keep this around. I don't think I can though. Whoa, dude. I guess they expected me to go Magearna. That's fine. But now they've actually allowed themselves to get in range of the sneak. And unfortunately, I have to go for it. I can't try to play clever and go for Poltergeist or something like that, expecting them to go Talonflame. If I did that, that's a throw. Actually, I'm trying to see something here. I'm weak armor, and they obviously have heavy-duty boots. So now I'm +2 attack, and I'm going to do way more damage to the Runerigus. As we've seen before, where we scroll back up, we saw that the Poltergeist failed on the Runerigus. And that means they have no item, which is fine with me. I'm going to Bitter Blade back. A lot of health. They're X, so they can't kill me. And that'll be game. I expect the Runerigus to have Earth Power. Or Earthquake, right? Something like that. And I guess they're not carrying it. I don't know. Maybe some of them do. This one didn't. Great showcase for Surulege. And the Glimmora was a good switch into Talonflame. So that's about all the video I want to do today. I know we're really low on the ladder. I haven't used this alt to play games yet, so that's fine because we're using Glimmora. And Glimmora is not very good. Let's talk quickly about why Glimmora is not very good. If I had normal Glimmora, I could run a Power Herb. Then I could run Meteor Beam. Meteor Beam is a very strong move and it gives me +1 special attack. With Glimmora's +1 special attack, it has more power output than a Mega Glimmora. Now Mega Glimmora has more speed. It goes from 86 speed to 101 speed, so 15 speed increase. That's pretty decent considering now you can outspeed things like Non-Choice Scarf Tapu Lele, you can outspeed Hydreigon, Non-Choice Scarf, you can outspeed all those base 100s. So the speed increase isn't bad, but at the same time, you aren't outspeeding Mega Starmie or normal Starmie. You're not outspeeding Mega Meowstic. You're not outspeeding Garchomp even. You're not outspeeding a lot of the normal threats that one would normally need to outspeed. And especially in this tier, like Keldeo, as we've seen, and all these Z Megas, you still don't outspeed those guys, so the speed increase isn't that crazy. Now, if you'd gotten up to like 120 speed, you could have outsped things like Latios, you could have outsped the aforementioned Garchomp, you would have had a reason to go about things. But instead, they decided to dump tons of attack stat into Glimmora, which Glimmora does not need. What are you doing? Going for Mortal Spin? It is an absolutely idiotic move to put all that attack into Glimmora. There's no redeeming function there. And even with Rocky Payload as an ability that does power up my rock moves, and that does make me stronger than normal Glimmora if I'm using a rock move. But it's not like some crazy thing. And when I have a metagame that has about 60 or so megas, so I'm just eyeballing it, about 60 megas to choose from, and I only get to have one, why would I choose Mega Glimmora when normal Glimmora still does basically the same thing? Gets up toxic spikes, goes for rock moves, sludge wave, whatever, right? Earth power. It can do all the things that Mega Glimmora is doing to basically the same effect, and you don't need to waste a Mega Slot on it. So unfortunately, Mega Glimmora is not very good. Let's talk about why I didn't have Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave on Mega Glimmora right now, I feel like it's sort of a waste. I would think normally it would be a good move, but when there's like Magearna, Melmetal, Corviknight, Scizor, I guess, there's at least 1 or 2 other Steel types I'm forgetting. There are way too many Steel types in this tier currently, and they're all really good. And so you're not doing anything. To say nothing of something like Garchomp, which also would resist the Sludge Wave and the Power Gem. And so, maybe Dazzling Gleam even if you wanted to get real cheeky with it. But I think having spikes on it is really nice, especially because that is a move that's normally on Garchomp. Garchomp, well, is not running spikes, we're running Aqua Tail specifically for Mega Heatran, which currently has Earth Eater. Finally, I want to talk about the Magearna set here. This is Choice Specs Magearna. As we saw, those Volt Switches were killing Mega Starmie, and I don't think that normally that would happen. Let's just quickly look at Magearna and Starmie. I don't remember if Starmie gets any defense boost. I don't think it does, so we'll just assume this is what it is. We can see this Volt Switch does 109 to 129. If I had not a choice specs, I would not be killing it. Now, a couple of those Starmies, at least one of them I think had some chip on it, so maybe I would have. But, and obviously Flurrican is still killed. But the fact that I could have a choice specs, pretty nice. But I will say, I remember back in Gen 8 when Magearna first got Stored Power and Calm Mind and Aura Sphere. I think that's what it got in Gen 8, and it got like banned after a month of play or less. And people were like, "Oh, Magearna is broken with the Stored Power Double Dance sets," and I think that is still to this day what makes Magearna broken. But I remember some high-level, respected community members saying, "No, it's not that makes it broken. I can play around that because I'm so good. It's the choice specs Magearna that there's no switchings to." And I'm over here thinking, okay, well, this metagame currently is using only bulky Magearnas, either AV or the Double Dance Magearnas. I don't really be seeing anybody ever use choice specs. So if it was really that broken, what's different about this metagame that makes it not broken? I'm not sure about that. But I figured I'd try out the choice specs Magearna to see for myself. And it was nice because it always took a hit, at least for the most part. And it's gonna kill back with something, which is pretty good. However, that being said, there's a lot of other guys in this tier that can currently do that, like Annihilate, right? It'll always live a hit, almost always at least. Then they can KO back with Rage Fist or be Choice Scarf with close combat. I don't know if that's a fair comparison. Just to say though that this Choice Specs Magearna is okay. I only tested like 2 games before this. One of them went really well, and the other one I got blown back turn 2 by Mega Garchomp Z. But that was just an unfortunate me switching my melodic in and taking 57% from Dragon Pulse. So don't hard switch your melodic in, and then I could have Ice Beamed it into Shadow Sneak and it would have been fine. But that'll be it for today's video. I'll catch you guys next time.